Hi, in this video we're going to cover the select tool and some grouping methods in Google SketchUp. So let's begin. Alright, so we're in SketchUp. I'm going to go ahead and make a 3D rectangle. No specific measurement or height. And I want to make a cylinder. So first off, we'll go with the select tool, and you should be a little bit familiar with this. If you just click once, it'll select this edge. If I click here on this face, it'll select that face. Same thing with the circle and the edges. Now, if I double click on the face, it'll select all the connecting edges. And if I double click on this line, it'll select the connecting faces. Now, if I triple click an edge, oops, 1, 2, 3, it'll select everything that's connected in this rectangular box. Same thing with the face, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It'll do the exact same thing. If I right click, I can also select all the connecting edges. Same thing as a double click. Triple click will be the connected faces. Oops, nope, I'm wrong. Triple click will be all connected, and this is a little bit different. And these two we'll save for whenever we cover layers and materials. So don't worry about that one for now. So that's the select tool as far as I know it. You can also drag and select things as well. And now we're going to segue over into our grouping and component tools. So components is actually this item right here, and a component is a unit within SketchUp that we can recreate, or that essentially we're going to reuse over and over again for a similar, if not the same, purpose. So I want to take this box, and I can right click and hit make component, or I can hit the letter G, and I can give this a name. Length, width, and height. Create. Now, if I hit my right click button and hit Entity Info, you'll notice that we have this rectangular box and there's only one in the model. If I go to the window and I hit Components, we notice that we have Susan, who we can recreate or make an identical sister. And same thing, we could do this exact same thing with the rectangular box. Just drag and drop, and then click to give its location. And notice that the number in the model is increasing. So if this is something that you're going to, essentially a component is something you're going to reuse many times. Now, it's important to be a little bit careful with the component tool, because even though you think it might be for the same purpose, for some reason you might discover you might want to use a similar shape, but I might want to manipulate this one or change this one. So if I double click, I can actually change the faces or even the edges in this component. I can move it, I can make it smaller, I can make it bigger, I can push pull, I can draw lines on it, but whatever I do to it, it's going to change the other components as well. So, if I find myself in a place where, oh wow, I have this component and I want to reuse it, but I don't know what to do, you want to right click, hit make unique. It'll just rename it, and you can do whatever you want to it at that point. I can change it now, and it's not going to do anything to the other components within the model that it once was. Now, if you want to get rid of a component, this window is getting obviously cluttered with a lot of units that I'm not using. If you right click, you'll notice you can hit the delete button. I've noticed sometimes that it grays out, and I'm not really sure why, such as in this instance with this the first rectangular box. Well, if I drag a box in here and I put it inside the model and I right click now, then I can delete it. But once it's deleted, it'll remove all of them. So that's my knowledge on components to the greatest at this moment. And really handy tool. Comes in, you can use it for all sorts of things. Now, what about a group? I mean, I can essentially recreate this object here. I want to try my best. And I know I haven't covered the move tool, but we'll do that in the next video. I want to right click and select make group, and we'll notice that there is nothing that comes into our component window. That's because a group can be many things. It can be a combination of edges. It can be a combo of edges with faces. A group could even be groups of components with components, or components, faces, and edges, or all the different varieties you can come up with. So if I select my cylinder, hold down Shift, I'll get that plus and minus thing going on. And when I right click and hit make group, this whole thing now becomes a single entity that can be manipulated together. So I don't know, this is, I don't know, my little widget, a house, or I don't know, anything, whatever it is that you're making and you're designing, you can create them together now. So copy and paste them together if you want to fill up a model with particular items. They're going to be reused over and over again. And you can swivel them around, you can move them around, and the cool thing is that SketchUp will actually count both of them, or all of them in the model, even though they're used in different areas. So it's still including this one with these other three, even though they're parts of different things within the model. Now the groups, you can count those together as well. So that's another neat feature. And there was one more thing. If you want to edit these items, it's the exact same thing as editing a component. Just double click, and you're back again to editing things. Now, if you want to separate these from each other, excuse me, I'm a little tired. Right click, hit explode, and these will be single entities once again. So those are components and groups. Hope that helps. Really helpful tools, extremely useful. And yeah, enjoy, have some fun.